Wolf and Gents now decide to use Ryu and Sheik together. And on Smashville to start, I don't particularly know about this one. This is a bit, this is iffy in my opinion.
So if I were to maybe think about the, Jen's mentality right now, we've seen just how absolutely devastating Cassius can be when he just survives. And having that guaranteed kill power from Ryu, his up tilt Shoryu, down tilt Shoryu, that might be able to take a little bit of pressure off overall.
So getting into it, we've got just middling percentages around. Notably though, Jen isn't really trying to jump as much, not trying to actively contest too much, but Cassius is starting to try and fish around, and we see the up smash putting Wolf in the air. And that is going to be the first blood in favor, but we have the... Ooh, I don't know. I don't like that side B. Red team really can't afford for team hits on each other. Even if they don't kill, the amount of time that they're giving blue team to reposition and reorient themselves is far too great a resource for them to just give up, even for a split moment like that.
Yeah, man. I gotta say, I never usually pay attention to it, but the sound design on Bowser landing, he has like these thunks.
Yeah.
And Cassius doing a lot of jumping right now, actually, so we're getting to hear that. He's playing a very aerial-based game, which is kind of surprising. Normally, Bowser for, his pretty strong ground game, his grab is just such a threat. But Cassius is really looking instead to occupy airspace, but there he is going to be dropping that stock, missing his tech against Jen's Shoryu there.
Now, Jen's sitting at 100%. If blue team does well to defend him, there could be a ton of kill power between Sheik and Ryu. However, I don't even know if they need to have that kill power. The rather unfortunate recovery from Frozen, leaving him at his last stock.
Yeah, and now the stocks are tied. Jen is sitting here at 125%, which makes things pretty scary for him. But he's also at that sort of range right now where if he gets in the proper combo starter on Cassius, he might actually be able to end his stock. Or they can just get these 2v1 combos. Oh, really, really smart there from Cassius. He throws out the side B, and that side B actually land cancels. Like, he can throw it out and he lands on the ground with no lag. And so he landed on the ground and then just went for it again. Ooh, but really smart from Wolf, cleaning up with an edge guard onto Cassius. We have even stocks all around. Let's see how these players will now work. That should be it.
That is going to be it. Now Cassius sitting in the 2v1 situation, having to deal with Jen now having clocked in a little bit of rage. And Wolf, who's just looking like a bat out of hell, putting out so much pressure so convincingly. Really showing that this Sheik Ryu comp might, be the answer that they need in order to take down this team who, genuinely, I was thinking that they were going to be able to just clean up their way through the losers bracket, but Wolf and Jen showing a surprising amount of synergy.
Ooh, but right now, yeah, this is pretty, even though they've been just so consistent at keeping Bowser in the corner here, yeah, trying to go for that bouncing fish and getting back aired all the way across the stage. But Cassius just keeps on. Never mind.
I'm sorry. What?
I mean, he was dead. Like, he went for that down air, and, like, it didn't matter if he landed in front of him, behind him, off the stage. He was done.
I mean, I feel you, but at the same time, you're just going to let it look like a Frisbee bounced off the roof? Like...
Is this what we want the replay on?
Yeah, that's what you're going to get. You're going to see this down air just donked right off, and then that might have been the saddest stock we've seen dropped today.
I mean, he was at, like, I would honestly contest that Frozen's early, like, 7%
Oh, no, yeah, that was
SD.
pretty sad, but, like, you don't see Bowser just drop and then so gently bounce off things. Gentle and Bowser are not two words you would often see synonymous with each other. So...
He's a tender and loving father. Have you seen Mario Sunshine?
I guess. I mean, I have, but, like, there's not that much tender loving going on in that game. We'll see if Cassius can bring some of that good, sweet loving here to Game 2 on Battlefield.
All right.
And we're immediately seeing the percentages built up, so something's working out for Red Team.
Oh, yeah, this is a slobber knocker right now. But right, the damage output at the beginning, it definitely does matter. But considering that we've seen just the amazing survivability from Cassius's Bowser, and just the the threat that Jen has with all of the rage he can get. Wow, that just barely living that Shoryu, but he's going to be dropping it to that side B pin. We have seen so many times, like Frozen will be in the middle of something and then he'll just turn around and pin and kill somebody. It's like his awareness of just whenever anybody's off stage, he just takes advantage of it like as soon as he can.
And it's sort of a two-in-one function of the Dragon Lunge that not only is it presenting such reliable kill power for Corrin, but Frozen is also able to utilize that to reposition himself somewhere better, be it for himself or for assisting his teammate. There's tons of utility in it, although we're going to have to see a lot more of that utility if Frozen's going to have more presence on stage.
Yeah, and you can see Jen right now, he's trying to gun for Frozen, and it ends up really biting him. Frozen just gets in there, puts him in that edge guard situation, and just does all of that damage, and then finishes his stock. And we now have 3 stocks to 5, and it seems like blue team can't even figure out how to take the stock from Frozen.
Blue team overall just struggling to have any sort of presence with the damage they're outputting in this match. Even though we see Frozen sitting at 151, Cassius sitting at 82. Cassius hasn't really had a lot of stage presence as a whole. He hasn't really been able to get himself involved in his brutal combos that we've seen. And even as we see him now, victim of a 2v1 combo, he's just sort of lazing about. He doesn't really need to have that much presence, as Frozen's carrying quite a bit of weight in this game.
Oh, yeah. And also right now, Frozen with that max rage. I don't know what the DI was on that that up throw, but all right. And then finally, he's going to be dropping it to the back air. 4 stocks to 3, and Cassius is at pretty high percent. Oh, he wanted that vanish kill, but slightly mistimed it. Okay, the very last hit, and all of a sudden, this game is not actually looking so bad for blue team. They've really started to turn around, their total overall, just their capability. Right as I say that, though, Wolf taking a pretty early stock.
Yeah,
and now
leaping himself right into the full charge of the Dragon Fang shot and then the Dragon Fang itself. Blue team's going to have to play with this pretty close to their chest if they want to squeak this one out. Sitting on their last stocks, H and Jen already at 103% and counting.
And we haven't really seen that many successful Shoryus come into effect, right as I say that.
Yo.
Oh no, he up smashed his teammate? What happened?
The commentator's curse is live and ready tonight, but I don't know if Wolf and Jen are going to be able to be seeing this. It's looking a bit rough. Sitting at 107% in counting, although red team is sitting at their last stocks. Wolf just decided to leap directly into the up smash.
Yeah, he was in a really rough situation there. Kind of maybe just, had the, let's just get out of here.
Yeah.
And so we are moving into game 3 here right now. This is best 3 out of 5, so both of these teams have a little bit room to work with, but you still don't want to be dropping, game 3. You don't want to go down 2-1 in a best of 5 set. So
and it's not even just a matter of the game count leaning against you, but the momentum that you're allowing the enemy team to have. Like, we've seen that Cassius and Frozen can just run away with the mental momentum of a match. So to give them even a little bit of room to breathe is just devastating.
And just so much damage has been put on everyone except for Frozen. Frozen's just like, yeah, I'm sitting here like 50%. Wow, is that the Shoryu that did it right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that
move kills early.
I know, but we're actually seeing it now. Jen was having some trouble really connecting those to the kill, but now we're starting to see him. He's a little bit more aware, and Wolf actually is more aware of he's setting up for it better. He's doing these back throws, and Jen is just getting right there and managing to close out those early stocks. That might have actually been death for Frozen, but Jen opts to go for the safe punish and just grab him. Oh, wow,
It's a fancy movement from Jen, and I like it. However, it left him too preoccupied to be able to help Wolf on the opposite side of the stage.
That was so cute. That was so pretty.
That was. There's a reason that we champion Jen as the best Ryu in New York.
Is he going to Ryu Saga?
He is.
He is.
He is going to the SCR Saga. But not with stocks like that, he's not. He's going to have to clean up his play a little bit before that.
Well, it was actually unfortunate there. He actually got he was put into hit lag because I think he hit his teammate, which meant that he was stuck in hit lag, wasn't able to snap to ledge immediately, and Frozen, just aware of that, went in and got the tipper on that pin. And right now, blue team's actually playing with a pretty decent lead. But, you know, we have seen just the burst power that Frozen and Cassius are able to exert. You know, look at that, already 100%. And the death on Gen? No,
not at all.
Quite yet.
Tatsumaki managing to bring him closer to the stage, and then Shoryuken is going to allow him to connect to that ledge.
Not
Although,
yet. Wow.
Amazing awareness from Frozen's, making sure that he does clean it up in this one go-around.
Yeah, we were just saying how never count out red team here. Just they turn this around so quickly. Now we have 3 stocks to 2. Frozen with a bit of percent there, but you know, he doesn't mind it so much. Corrin with Rage is such a demon to deal with. Ooh, great combos there.
Wow, all right, that was a fairly creative combo.
Yeah, and it was actually pretty smart because you had Cassius right there in front of him, and if he threw out the wrong move, that might have led to his death. And so he goes for that dash attack. I think he ended up crossing up Cassius. So he ended up actually being able to close up the stock without too much of a risk to himself. Really smart there from Gen. Ooh. Yeah,
Wolf doing a very nice job of managing to stay inside of the pressure and alleviate a little bit of it from Gen while also being able to trade evenly. Whether it be with these forward airs or the needles, he's just constantly having some sort of presence. However, he's going to be dying for his efforts, leaving Gen in the 2v1 situation, but not for long as Cassius manages to clean this up and bring us to game 4, sitting a game above.
I'm actually kind of, it seems like a lot of people are, even when they have, because he was at lower percent than Bowser was, so he should have been able to direct the trajectory of that side B and been able to survive.
To my understanding, the influence has to do with the difference between the percentages.
And especially if you are like react to it a little bit later, you know, because he has the start and you are like, oh no, and then you start, you know, trying to.
Right. So we're sitting here, game 4 for Town and City. A rather interesting pick. However, I do like it. Although blue team is giving Corrin and Bowser more platforms to play around with, that smaller ceiling is going to be a godsend for these shorter U combos that we see from Gen. It's all a matter about how well blue team's going to be able to set those up.
And oh wow.
What? I'm sorry. Up smash on the platform?
I don't know. Wow, that was actually amazing work from Wolf managing to get back there. One thing is, though, that so normally, you know, Bowser loves this stage, but the biggest reason why he loves this stage is his up throw up air combos, which we don't really see him even try to go for that much in doubles, you know? So Bowser kind of loses, besides the up smash, which we have seen, you know, come into a play already. But besides that, he doesn't really have the same off-the-top kill presence that we see in the singles. That was the slowest down air. He like went across the stage and just happened.
However, returning ourselves back to the match, notable that Gen is sitting on his last stock already. The stock counts are even, but Wolf's going to have to put in quite the work if he's going to manage the stock tanking of this match, sitting at 96%. Normally, she can remain rather evasive. However, as we've seen throughout this set, Frozen and Cassius don't really care about how evasive she could be.
Yeah, but still, Wolf doing just an amazing job stock tanking. Right as I say that, Frozen manages to get that F smash. Yeah, Bowser just going through the back throw. It was weird when, you know, whenever you grab your partner, it can be really, you know, rough of like, what throw do I do? You know, do I do the fast throw, the least damaging throw? Ooh, ooh, wow. Yeah, and now we have 3 stocks to 2. But we might see it even up right there, an amazing needle bouncing fish snipe. Oh man, even all around, but a Frozen. When you counter reuse like forward and back air, because they do so much damage, I believe it's like 15 or 16%.
Oh no, it's scary. It's terrifying. Counter surge calculates to so much knockback. Like, forget the damage, the knockback is just outright terrifying. We're talking about knockback. That Bowser bomb bringing us to the 2v1 situation. Wolf has to take this up if he's going to be able to take it to game 5, but I don't know if it's going to happen. Sheik already sitting at 90%, and Corrin at 24. He might be able to bring this to a 1v1 situation, but Cassius has other plans. He's going into grand finals alongside Frozen from the loser's side, and we do get to see them get the run back on Dylan Ralphie.
Oh yeah, and on winners, in the winners side of things, it was so close. You saw just that they were going back and forth, and despite, you know, Dylan Ralphie's dominance in the scene lately, it seemed like they actually came with some new material that really gave them a run for their money. So let's